with another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to banned touchdown celebrations in the NFL. There's some banned touchdown celebrations out there. Apparently, I really don't know many. It doesn't really any come to mind, but hopefully I can learn one throughout this video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Link to the original video will be in the description. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Let's go.
Now, throughout NFL history, some players took touchdown celebrations a little too far and got some ridiculous fines that you won't believe. With touchdown celebrations playing a huge role in today's league, some players like Chad Johnson would constantly put on a show for fans after scoring, where he pretty much became known for his unique after-touchdown ways. With Chad Johnson constantly doing strange, outrageous celebrations, some cost him some unreal money, so it made some people wonder if what he was doing was worth it, but in the end, Chad did whatever he wanted, and he didn't let the fines hold him back anytime he got a chance.
He just
in 2005, Chad was fined $5,000 for a celebration he did after catching a 54-yard touchdown against the Ravens, and the fine was for excessive and prolonged celebrating. After the touchdown, Chad grabbed one of the corner pylons and used it as a golf club to putt the football, which, according to the NFL, was uncalled for. Another celebration he had during the 2005 season was after catching a 68-yard bomb from Carson Palmer, and after the catch, Chad ran to the sidelines and got the attention of the camera crew, who followed him over to the cheerleaders, and suddenly, he peeled off his helmet, got down on one knee, and took the hand of a Bengals cheerleader and fake proposed marriage to her. After the game, Chad was asked about the fake proposal, and he said, "I should have proposed for real if I knew I was going to get that much attention. I had it arranged with the entire Bengals team. They practice on Tuesdays, and on Tuesdays, I'm here watching film. I saw them, and I told the captain, this is what I want to do. I told her about the celebration. I said, make sure you tell the entire team so whoever's in the arena, no matter what side of the field I score on, somebody would be there." So they all knew. It was cool. Although Chad didn't receive a fine, he was bashed by the league and many non-fans who thought the celebration was degrading and disrespectful to the cheerleader, but this is just the beginning for Johnson. Right before Christmas...
You thought that was degrading? I mean, I get that there's a fake proposal, but if the cheerleader is cool with it, how's it really degrading if she's cool?
2005, shortly after his golf putt and fake proposal, he decided to plan a crazy celebration that was going to shock the entire NFL. During the Bengals Christmas Eve game, Chad talked about his plan saying, "On the highway, I hit a deer. I kept him. He's at home in the garage. I'm going to use him for the celebration this weekend."
All right,
they might suspend me for the last game, but
yeah,
I think this one's worth it. But this Saturday, I'll be back to my old self. You can look forward to the celebration being part of something that has to do with Christmas. It's going to be fun. I might get in trouble, so I might as well let that out now. I might get in trouble for what I'm going to do, but it's worth it. This is going to be the greatest celebration of all time.
Using a deer,
use an animal.
Using a deer or using an animal, nah, that's not it, Chad. Man, yeah, that's a bannable suspension, finable offense.
This is a celebration. Well, not suspension. Chad was being serious, and many people wanted him to follow through just to see what he was actually going to do. After hearing lots of advice from people about the potential backlash he could get from doing something so crazy, he decided not to do it, which could have been a career-saving decision. In July of 2012, just a few weeks after changing his name to Chad Ochocinco, in a game between the Bengals and Lions, Chad scored a touchdown and ran over to the bench to put on a poncho and sombrero that he brought prior to the game. The outfit was to match the new persona for Ochocinco.
He got so much heat for this one.
The bench, he threw the gear on and walked around for a bit, showing off his new look and name. After the 23-13 win over the Lions, Ochocinco was fined $30,000 for the celebration with the poncho and sombrero. But it didn't seem like Ochocinco was too worried about it. He said, "That's okay."
Bro, I get like a lot of this money ain't really nothing to people like him, but like you throwing away your money into fines. That's crazy.
Keep jacking them up, I'll keep jacking up the celebrations. Chad also said that he set aside $100,000 in 2012 to pay for celebrations. This much money could easily be spent on more productive things, but Chad spoke about how money isn't that big of a deal to him when he said, "I play to have fun.
You could have invested that into something.
Maybe that's why they take so much money, because they think we play for the money. Maybe they'll get the point. I play to have fun, not for the money. Come on now. What are you going to suspend me for? Having fun? I'm not that bad." Breaking news. Chad Ochocinco suspended for too many celebrations. How would that sound? I'm not hurting anybody. I'm very respectful with everybody.
The sombrero,
with Randy Moss being known as an all-time great receiver, he was also famous as a player to go over the top with celebrations. One of the most notable came during his time with the Vikings, and as we all know, the Packers and Vikings were a strong rivalry, so the matchups were always heated. During a matchup between Green Bay and Minnesota, Randy Moss actually mooned the Packers fans in the crowd after scoring. During a 2005 intense playoff matchup between the Packers and Vikings, Randy Moss caught a 34-yard touchdown, which put them up 30-17 late in the fourth quarter. After the touchdown, Moss ran over to the side of the goalpost and pretended to pull his pants down and moon the crowd, which announcer Joe Buck called a disgusting act. And Moss was fined $10,000 for the excessive celebration. He was only fined $10K. Moss never addressed the fine.
He was only fined $10K. Now we know nowadays, if you try to pull some kind of stunt like this, you suspended a couple games. Randy Moss is one of the maybe a top 5 receiver. You got Jerry Rice. I guess you could say Calvin Johnson, Megatron second, then him. Oh yeah, he top 3 then. Michael Irvin's up there, I believe. I can't think of all this.
But a few years ago, a reporter brought up that day to him, and Randy finally talked about it, saying, "I didn't know I was really going to get that type of negative attention, or of course I wouldn't have done nothing like that. No, I've never done nothing like that in my career, but it's not like I pulled my pants down or anything like that. But like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change it." Now, Terrell Owens is yet another legendary player to make this list. And yeah, he's an all-time great receiver, but his touchdown celebrations also caught a lot of attention. In 2007, after the Patriots were caught cheating by spying on other teams' practices and other confidential things, Terrell took it upon himself to make fun of the Patriots during a win over the Dolphins. After catching a touchdown, T.O. hid behind the goalpost and pretended to act like he was spying on the other team. The main reason that he was fined was for using the ball as a prop, and as well as the NFL finding out that he pre-planned the celebration in hopes that he would score a touchdown. Owens was fined $7,500 for his celebration, making fun of the Patriots. And after receiving a fine,
Patriots deserved it. If you cheat,
and
you
the fact that I used the goalpost as a prop. They said I used the ball. It's kind of hard to understand the rules. It's like you can't do nothing no more. Dude, it's like they're trying to find any way to take the fun out of the game. Bro. So I'm kind of limited right now as far as what I can do. Nothing's worth getting a fine for. Just a few months after his fine imitating the Patriots spying scandal, Owens was fined again for yet another celebration that he did during a game against the Eagles. After catching a touchdown, Owens whipped out a personalized towel that he had made and started waving it around, which violated league's rules for promoting anything other than NFL licensed gear. Owens ended up getting a $10,000 fine for waving his towel around after the touchdown, and when he found out he was being fined, he said, "It's stuff like that. People trying to make a big deal out of it. It's not any different than Chad Johnson going to the sidelines and taking out a coat. Well, I was a little towel, and now they want to make that a big deal." Exactly. Now, back in 2012, the NFL decided to put a ban on any player using the football as a prop in celebration, and some of that stemmed from Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco, who's often used the football as a prop every time he scored a touchdown. But in 2014, the NFL then put a separate ban on a certain celebration that they believed was getting out of hand. Thanks to tight end Jimmy Graham, who was still on the Saints back then, he scored against the Falcons and slam dunked the football so hard on the goalpost that it completely bent the metal. Thankfully for Jimmy, the Lambeau Leap, which is a celebration burned into the Packers' history, will still remain a legal celebration, but the vice president of officiating talked about the recent bans on celebrations and said, "We grandfathered in some."
The NFL is getting soft on these fines and bannable celebrations because it's like you scored a touchdown. I'd want to celebrate after. Of course, any celebration within reason should be usable, like dunking the ball. As long as I'm not hanging on it excessively after purposely trying to break it, I feel like that should be cool. The one with the golf thing, golf putting. That's. I just think NFL don't want other sports to eat. That's all that is.
Lambeau Leap and things like that, but dunking will come out. Using the ball as a prop or any object as a prop, whether that's the goalpost, crossbar, that'll come out and that will be a foul next season. Hall of Famer tight end Tony Gonzalez loved to do the dunking celebration in game, and he was one of the original entrepreneurs for in-game celebration. This dunking rule was put into place right after he retired, and when he heard about the news, he tweeted and said, "The NFL says no more dunking over the goalpost. This one I don't understand. Looks like I got out just in time."
Exactly.
Many players over the years love to do this dunking celebration, including recently retired Calvin Johnson, who not only did it plenty of times, but after they put the fine in play trying to ban the celebration, he even came out and said, "I'm still going to dunk. I just won't touch the rim," referring to the goalpost. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell commented on the entire situation a few years ago and felt that any celebrations delaying the game whatsoever would be against the rules, and this dunking one had to go because of the damage and delay it could in fact cause.
Like
but the statement said dunking falls under that category because of the possibility that the goalpost could be dislodged and require repairs. It also violates a rule that remains in place, using the goalpost as a prop. That's largely why it was banned in 2014, after being popularized by tight end Tony Gonzalez and Jimmy Graham. Other than Calvin Johnson, Jimmy Graham, and Tony Gonzalez, we've seen many players attempt this over the years, including Donald Penn, the legendary Drew Brees, and even Davante Adams, who threw down a one-of-a-kind 360 version of the celebration. Now, with Nate Burleson always wearing his emotions on his sleeve, he got a hefty fine for wearing an undershirt and showing it off.
I mean, I feel like if you, with the dunking one, back to the dunking one, I feel like if you should be safe as long as you don't hang. Yeah, but I already said that
during the game. So. In a Sunday afternoon game at Ford Field in Detroit, Nate Burleson came out of the locker room for a pregame and was spotted lifting up his jersey, which underneath it had a white shirt with black writing. Nobody in the stands or TV was able to read what it said until he stopped, and everyone saw it said, "What up, doe?" Not only did Burleson break the league's code for wearing shirts that represent something other than the NFL or the Lions, but during the game, he caught a touchdown and quickly punted the ball into the stands, so the NFL ended up fining Nate $15,000 for breaking the code, as well as breaking the rules for excessive celebration.
15K
They spoke about his actions and said,
is that
spontaneous.
15K really worth
I was
losing?
very apologetic afterwards. I ran over to the head coach, to the offensive coordinator, to the special teams coach, and to the special teams guys apologizing for putting the team in that position. And with Antonio Brown being a main topic of conversation around the league recently, many have forgotten about AB being fined for nearly 6 figures back in 2016 due to his touchdown celebration. Just a few months after a huge fine for twerking in the end zone, Brown was fined yet again for a choreographed celebration that he and Le'Veon Bell had planned in case one of them scored. During the Thanksgiving night celebration, he was fined $24,000 for his role in the dance, and Bell was fined $12,000 for his participation. Brown's fine was much larger since he was a repeat offender, and he was fined almost $50,000 earlier in the year. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger spoke about the dance that his star receiver and running back did, and he said, "He knows, we all know. Coach Tomlin brought it up yesterday. That is a huge penalty, and we can't do that. We put our kick coverage team in a bad situation, and we can't have that." And AB knows that. In week 1 of the 2016 season, Antonio Brown caught a touchdown against the Redskins and instantly put his hands on his knees and started twerking. Not only did it shock the fan base in Washington, but it also stunned the ref right there, who instantly threw a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. Brown was eventually fined $15,000 for his dance in the end zone, but when he caught up with ESPN to talk about the fine, he said money is nothing to a boss. The NFL released a statement about Antonio Brown's twerking being considered a sexual act when they said, "We're going to send a tape out in the next week or so to clarify some of these things, but the key is, if it's a gesture that
I guess it's an obscene gesture,
that's something with a firearm or a bow and arrow or sexually suggestive acts, those are unsportsmanlike conduct." That's something that the officials will flag. That's direct from the competition committee. That's something that we're going to try to be as consistent as possible. And that exact situation also led to another fine for another reason during the twerking moment. Apparently his cleats were also against league rules at the time, and he was fined over $9,000 for the blue cleats that he was spotted in that night. But AB is no stranger to ridiculous fines, and he's been forced to pay up to $40,000, $50,000 for skipping media days and team practices, but with him being worth over $25 million, he can easily afford any fine that comes his way at this point. So I say let the celebrations go, man. It's just having fun. Bro Chacho, what are you doing with your...
But yeah, I feel like the NFL is really like trying to stop the players from having fun. Like a lot of these, I didn't know they banned the dunking one. I just thought players, that was just a phase that was grown out of, because a lot of players spike the ball now instead. But hey, that's the end of the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share on the road to 100 subscribers, and I'm out. Peace.